Hey guys, today we're going to do the Mitosis Wheel assignment. And this assignment is loaded in a Google Doc. And right here you'll see it says Load Mitosis Wheel in a new window. The video that you're watching right now is going to show you how to fill it out. So if I click on this, it will take you to Google Assignments. And for yours, it should open right up. Mine doesn't for one reason or another, I guess, because I'm in the teacher options with it. And it's going to look just like this. It's a blank wheel. Now, if you have the ability, I would draw this wheel on a piece of paper and I would write everything in it, take a picture of it, and send me an email. If you can't do that, then you can fill it out in Google Docs. I do allow you guys to use this on your test, and it'll definitely help you out when we get to that point, which isn't for another couple of weeks. But if you can't fill it out on a piece of paper, whenever you're doing it, what I noticed you can do is you double click on the diagram and it brings this view up called drawing. Then you're going to click up here and it says text box, and you're going to make a little text box and you'll type something in it. And you can move this text box around on this circle. So if I hit save and close, now I have the word hi in that area. I was looking for something where you could actually use, insert a text box into this area, but you can't do that. All you have to really do is click on it. And right now I have this, wow, I don't want that. I somehow ended up highlighting that part there. You always want to be clicking in a blank area, and that way you can add text boxes to whatever part you're trying to get to. So if I type that, and then I can move this. Hopefully this is appearing kind of in the one area where I want it to. It's a little bit more of a guess and check. You might have to move it down a little bit or up a little bit, but you kind of get the idea. You're double clicking and you're adding text boxes if you can't do it online. Now I'm going to delete these because you're not going to want this on your Google Doc whenever you go to fill it out. Okay, save that. And I am going to do mine in a Word document because I can work it a little bit better. So we're just going to be filling this whole thing out, and I've shown you this picture before in our slides. I'll add a text box. Right down to this area here. This is interphase, and this is the G1 gap phase. For growth and development, and a cell can exit into the GO phase from this point. If it doesn't want to be replicated. Okay, and I'm just going to copy that box. Ooh, where did it go? And move it down to my next area here, which is also interphase, and it's the G2 gap phase. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's the S phase, sorry, which stands for synthesis. The DNA is going to be replicated. And I'll move that over here. And now we have the G2 gap phase. Again, for growth and development. And it has a checkpoint. So look at the DNA. Or it'll get sent back to the G1 phase if it notices that there is some kind of a mutation within the DNA as it's reading it. So your DNA has a stuff called DNA polymerase, and we'll be talking about this in a couple of chapters when we actually start decoding DNA. But for now, that DNA polymerase is just going to go through and double check. It's like a proofreading system. Make sure that there's nothing wrong with your DNA. So if you remember back to when I talked about cancer cells are cells that reproduce so fast, and your body, you may be wondering, well, if it has these proofreaders, how does this cell continuously get to reproduce? Why isn't your body stopping it? Well, your body doesn't know that it should be stopping it. It doesn't realize that a mistake was made. Your body thinks that it is 100% accurate 100% of the time. So it's not like a virus. It's not like a bacteria cell where it gets into your system. This is actually a part of your DNA. And because there is some error in that DNA polymerase, which does happen, that's how those cancer and those tumor cells start growing and replicating so fast. Moving on to the next part here. Let me squish this down a little bit. And this is called mitosis. And I'm going to put that little block right there. Mitosis. So these 4 pieces here are also known as mitosis or cell division. In our first one here, this is prophase. In prophase, this is where the chromosomes are going to become visible. The centrioles kind of come out and the spindle fibers appear. Now that seems like a lot to write in this little area here, so I'm just going to put that the DNA becomes visible. Because up to this point, when it's an interphase, it's just all kind of a bunch of gunk hanging out. We move up here. This is metaphase. The DNA lines up in the middle of the cell. Now it's going to get a little bit more difficult with me trying to get it exactly in that box. Whoa. Anaphase is next. DNA pulls apart. Opposite ends of the cell. Okay. And this one up here is telophase. Your DNA is already on opposite ends of the cell, and now the cell membrane is going to start to pinch in. And this big bubble over here is known as cytokinesis, division of the cytoplasm. It's not technically a part of mitosis, but because it does involve division, we just kind of lump it in there with it. And that is what will finalize the cell becoming its own little entity. So as I said before, you can either turn this in a Google Doc, or you can draw it out and email it to me. Either way, it's worth 6 points for your notebook check, and you'll be able to use it on your test later. All right, guys, I will talk to you later.